Hey, what's up everybody? Another knife video for you guys. The dude keeps setting out more butterfly knives for sale. And man, he's getting me freaking spoiled. I don't think I'll ever have another year where I find this many at once. Otherwise, got another 80's butterfly knife to show you guys. It's made by Parker Cutco. And then I went ahead and picked up the counterfeit Spyderfly. And speaking of that knife, when I was trying to look it up, it's a good enough counterfeit to where it fooled Google on my smartphone. When I just took a picture of it and looked it up that way, it thought it was a real freaking Spyderfly. But there's definitely stuff on it to point out where they screwed up or just not good on the quality. Also, Cutlery Lover has a video that I swear he's showing the same knife. Just on how he pointed out stuff on it, this one's doing the same thing. So I think it's the same knife that he got. So I'm going to start out with the 80's one here. And man, like some of the other ones I got from the dude, it is like mint condition. He just didn't have the box, but man, it's damn near mint condition. It's really good. Otherwise, it's a Parker Gypsy, but with the word Gypsy and that logo, they seem to put it on a lot of their different knives. Otherwise, this one looks a lot like one of the Taylor knives that I have, and also has that same look on the Pakistan butterfly knives that you used to be able to get. They're just really cheaply made, sandwiched on the style, and all brass or all steel, usually skeletonized, or sometimes the brass ones that have a pattern going down the handles, but just really cheaply made. This is not. This is made beautifully. All stainless steel and full slabs for the handles, and then it's got bolsters above that have been kind of squared off. And I don't know what type of horn or whatever, or bone. Otherwise, it's got just either horn or just bone inlay that looks nice. Say, if you have one of the cheap Pakistani butterfly knives, has that same pattern to it. But this is much higher quality. And this one does have a model number on it, which is 1586, and then it just says surgical steel made in Japan. The other side just says Parker Cutco, and then it has their logo, and then it's got the logo on the blade with Gypsy. Sorry about the camera. It's not really making that logo on the blade show up good. But to the naked eye, it looks really good. It's not worn down or anything on how they put it on. Say, man, just really good condition. And on this knife, for this specific pattern, let's see. I think I found a couple of them, or maybe just one on Worth Point, which is one of those places for selling antiques, but you got to be a member for you to be able to see what it's sold for. So I have no idea, other than they got one or two on there. And then either somebody was showing pictures of it, or it was another knife site, but I couldn't quite get a price to see how much this one's worth for this specific knife. And Arizona Knives is my go-to because they got tons and tons of butterfly knives listed on their site, to where they also will show ones that have sold for people that just want to have an idea of how much their knife might be worth or whatever. Anyways, I could find similar ones to this. Like they had one towards just solid handles, all skeletonized, and then maybe a couple others that were similar, but not this exact one where it has the bone inlay. Also on the inlays, which is really nice, you can see the little dots there. They're held in with brass pins, not glued in like a lot of the 80s ones I see. So it's more done like a Batanga style. Also very sharp. Okay, now this one. I'm just going to show my Spyderfly really fast here, just to point out some stuff here. First off, that's to show better. You can see they're on the latch. Both handles have a hole drilled through them, as they made it to where you can reverse the latch. Then on the belt clip, little indentations there. It's got it on all sides of the handle, so you can put that belt latch, whatever, clip, wherever you want it. And then Torx, yeah. Also, sides of the screws, pivot pins that are flat are literally flush. They sit in there perfectly. And between the handles and the blade, I've never taken this apart, so I don't know if it's got bearings in it or just washers or what, but it at least has washers in there. And then the screws are Torx. Same thing on the one that holds in belt clip and the latch. And then you got to give it a pretty good squeeze to get it open. I'll show it to you that way too, because that's a difference too. You can see how close together the handles are. And then on the blade, this is the 440C version that they did later on. And then on the other side it just says Spyderco. Also, right off the bat, the handles on this one are lighter color. So I believe it's bead blasted steel, which gives that cool looking effect. So, something you guys will see on this that shouldn't be there, but it's there for a good reason. See, got a little rolled up piece of whatever there, which is just foam in between the handles. The reason I have it there, yeah, all I did was just switch hands and it popped open. And that was the same problem that I think Cutlery Lover was having with his. He really screwed up on the latch. Move that for a second there. Also, let's see, there, so you guys can kind of see the screw that holds it in. When it comes to both handles, something amiss. They only got the latch on the one handle. And one thing that I thought that was funny, why forget about putting the extra hole into the handle there so you can reverse it but have the cutout for the freaking latch to fit. It's like they got halfway done and it's like, oh, fuck it. That's pretty much it. They had it set up to be reversible. Like I say, I think what they did was just make molds of the original handles. But then they decided just to have the latch to one side. Like I say, it will not say closed unless I have the handles pulled apart some. So there's some tension in there. Also, they did get it to where it's supposed to have it, to where you can put that belt clip on either side of both handles, which I was going to try and do to match it up with my other one, but when I tried to switch to another handle, the little indentations there, this thing fit, but the screws there, as you can see, that side's flat. They got them pretty damn close. In fact, let's see. Yeah, it's the screws themselves where they screwed up. They're just Allen screws, and yeah, same thing up top. They're Allen screws, but if you don't know what to look for, you can still be pretty much fooled, as they look very similar. It's just there's little things where they screwed up. Otherwise, the mold made it to where that damn screw either wants to dig in or it just kind of sticks out some, so it doesn't fit in there like it should, even that they got the hole cut out. It's like, God, I think all I tried to do was switch this to the other side of the handle, and I couldn't do it. So it's kind of just stuck where it is for now. And yeah, there's something to show. Yeah, on the real Spyderfly. Oh, man, this stupid camera. Show you guys. Kind of see. It's where the pivot pins hit. If you look at the knife like this, you can't see the little cutouts for the pivot pins. It's inside. This one, see there, they go clear across. Like I say, on it closing, probably because of how they did that, they had to go and change it. It brings the handles too close together for the latch to stay closed unless you stick something in between there to push the handles apart, and then it still pops open easy. So definitely not one that you want to keep in your pocket unless you want to have a rubber band around it or something so it doesn't open up when you go to grab it. On opening it up, quite a bit further apart. Yeah, show them two side by side here. Yeah, this one being the fake. Oh yeah. Look at the bottom there. It's quite a bit further apart. See if I can show the difference of color here on the metal. Okay. This one's the original Spyderfly. It's a new one. And some of it is shading in here, but quite a big difference. This is a lot darker gray to where it looks like, I'd swear it looks like they painted it with something. That could be why I'm having trouble messing with that belt clip there. It could be because they painted it. It filled in enough space to where the parts just don't want to fit in good. Where this is just metal. No paint on it whatsoever. to. Keep finding things to point out. No? Yeah, the latch kind of sucks. And boy, when you look at them side by side, you can tell everything was molded. The latch, it was a two-side mold. And up top, it's just off just a tad to where that side is up just a little bit than the other. It almost even looks a little bit bigger, so they just didn't clean it up good. And yeah, I'd swear it's a bit wider too. So that is definitely what they did. They just got this one, got all the parts they could off of it, other than just copy the blade on a machine or whatever, and just make molds. Blade wise, all this says on it is just 440 stainless china. Doesn't say anything on the other side. Oh, looks like they fucked up. Okay, I'm finding new stuff just doing this video. I didn't notice that before. Yeah, that's off. Okay, the pivot pins on this are perfect on how much they go through. It's perfect on both sides on the original Spyderfly. This one, where it says 440 stainless china, it's sticking out just a tiny bit further. See on the top, it's the same. Hard to tell. The top of the blade here on the tang, not the best grind on the China-made one. Yeah, I think that's what's throwing me. It looks like they almost got it right to where it looks pretty level with the handles. Even the blade, you'd think they made it in a mold. Just the very top of it here, they didn't smooth out good for some reason. But once you get around the sides here, it's a little better. Blade wise, I think the blade on the Spyderco is just a little, yeah, tad thicker. Yeah, eyeballing at the Spyderco one, just a little bit thicker on the blade. Then on the top of the blade here, perfectly straight up and down on the grind. And then on top, it's perfect on both sides. This one looked like they did it more like you'd see on Philippines Batanga, where they just ground it, but it's not. Just that perfect line cut. Yeah. Rest of it. Yeah, when it comes to China-made ones, I've seen worse, so really the blade's not too bad. It's just Spyderco is all about perfection, so everything on this knife just looks perfect. Also, let's see, I was trying to figure out, I haven't taken it apart yet to see exactly, but okay. That's why I was having a hard time on tightening anything up or whatever. One of the screws was loose on this, but yeah, it looks like it just has plastic washers on each side to make everything go smooth. All I can say on these cheapy ones, especially ones that are screwed together like this, if you're going to have it for flipping or whatever, just playing with whatever, or even just regular old pocket knife to where you don't know how to flip, I definitely recommend taking it apart and then putting Loctite on the screws and just get it where you want it and keep it there. Because I could see them gradually loosening it up and having this thing fly apart. Or I haven't had that problem at all with a Spyderfly knife, but this one is mint condition, so I don't flip it. I just take it out and look at it, but I don't flip it. I was able to get one new in the box years ago, so I just want to keep it new, especially now that the value's really gone up on them. Otherwise, getting online, trying to find that specific knife, I had a really hard time. It just would not come up with the same one, and I think that's how I ran into a cutlery levers video. It just popped up on Google. But to find any for sale, I was having a really hard time. And all the ones that I've seen where they've tried to copy the Spyderfly, it's usually like this one, where it's all sandwiched together. It's not solid for the handles. And they're really freaking cheap. I can't even remember where I got my last one. I don't even know if I still have it. I think it was one of them. I was flipping it and it just flew into pieces and lost all the screws and shit, and I just gave up. It was like a $15 knife. Otherwise, that one, if you can find it, I mean, even that it's a copy of it, it's really not too bad. There's things that could be fixed on it to be made better if you really wanted to mess with it. So once again, this guy keeps bringing out more knives, so as long as I got the cash on hand, I'm going to keep hitting them up. Because man, I've never found this many butterfly knives, vintage ones, and I don't know how long, man. He's making me feel like I'm able to go back to the old trade shows in the 80's where everybody had them setting out, man. That's the feeling it gets. Every time I go there, he's got a few more setting out. So cool. Because he says he's got a whole bunch, but he's only got a couple small areas to show them. So I think he's just bringing out a handful at a time. And so far I seem to be the one that's buying most of them. So nice. Nice. Goes back to it's in a freaking thrift store type place. So people are just not going to think of buying knives at a place like that. So cool, man. Hopefully you'll keep bringing out some good ones. And I'm waiting for some heavy hitters, like some of the ones that I did have back in the day. So we'll see. May have another video by maybe next weekend, because they don't open until Wednesday. I think it's just Wednesday through Saturday or something, so I'll see what he's got. Have a good one, everybody.